Hello, my name's Tony Hutchinson and I work for Reality Solutions, and what I'm going to cover today is a basic payments run on the purchase ledger. So you can see that I have my nice supply list. I've only got a few suppliers on my test database, so it's not going to be too complex. What we're going to do is we're going to do two. We're going to do a check run and a backs run. So what we're going to do is to start running these payment runs is we first of all go into our period end routines, into payment processing, and we generate suggested payments. Now, what we recommend is after you've done a payment run is to clear these down using this delete suggested payments. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave today's date as the end of the month as the date. I'm just going to click OK. And you'll see there I get a suggested payment file already exists. Do you wish to remove it? So I'm just going to say yes to that. The reason it says that, I'm just going to say no there, is because I didn't delete the previous one. What I would need to do usually is I click delete suggested payments and delete all, delete and yes. So now when I do that again, I'm not going to get that message. It's just a good practice to, after you've done your payment run, to delete the suggested payments. So I'm just going to click OK to bring all those in, and I have a suggested payment report. I'm going to say yes, I want to see that report. So what that's going to do is produce a report on screen saying these are the payments that it wants to make. I've got some check payments and I've got some backs payments. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do the check payment first, and then we'll come back and do the backs payment. So I'm just going to come out of that screen, and what I find the easiest ways is to go into this suggested payments option, and I click refresh to bring them in. And I can see there I've got check backs. I can actually do searches on this, so I could actually put CH and it just bring in the ones with check. So of course you can use these filters. Because I don't want to pay this backs one, I'm doing a check run, I'm just going to right click it, go to actions, period end routines, delete suggested payments, and I'm going to delete suggested payment for a single supplier, and that supplier is the Acme Trading. I just delete that and say yes. Although it says all, it's just deleting that one. If I click refresh, you'll see now I've just got my check payments. That's the only ones I want to work with. Now, for instance, this 6,030, I think, well, actually, I don't want to pay all that. I only want to pay some of those invoices. I can right click again, actions, period end routines, amend suggested payments. And on this particular one, it brings those up, and I'm going to say pay none, which means it won't pay any. But I'm actually just going to pay 3,000 on that one. And I click save, close, refresh my list, and I'll just get the 3,000 payments. So you can do part payments this way. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to go straight into generate payments. This will generate the payment and of course produce a remittance device that you can attach the supplier's remittances to and get everything sent out as you would. So you can see there I'm saying a check payment. I've got an option of backs and standing order direct debit. I'm going to select check payment, and I'm going to get my first check number, which is 152 or 1523. What we've got here at the bottom is a box called messages. Now we can actually put a message onto the actual remittance device. So I could say, here is payment, and that will produce a message on screen. You can also save some of these as well. I've got some presets. I've got things like new sale, summer break. So I'm going to select that one. It says we are closing for the whole of August. Okay, that. So these are preset, and you can set those up at any time you want. So in this case, I'm happy with all the information, and I'm just going to click OK. Now this takes a second or so. We'll just wait for it to produce reports. And there I've got my remittances there. And it says the payments were successfully made. Okay, that. And you can see I've got page 1, page 2, and page 3. Those will be printed out, checks will be written, and you'd of course then pay suppliers. At this point, this is a bit where I would now delete my suggested payments because I've no use of those. I've done them already. So I say yes to that. So what we're going to do now is if I click refresh, of course, there's no records to view because there's nothing to be paid. So we're going to go back to generate suggested payments again, and we're going to do the same thing. But this time we're going to actually produce the backs file because it's the same most of the way, but it's slightly different near the end. So you can see there I've got the check payments and I've got my backs. So I'm going to drop the check one and just keep the backs. So I'm going to go suggested payments. And I'm going to refresh. And you can see that I don't want that check one, so I'm going to right click, actions, delete that suggested payment. delete suggested, and delete. There, that's done. Click refresh. I should have just have, oh, it's got rid of both for some reason. I'll just try that again. I'll just rerun that. I may have deleted it. I know what I did. For those eagle-eyed, you'll notice that I didn't change it to single supply and I kept it to all suppliers. So if I close that, go back to suggested payments, refresh that screen, right click, delete suggested payments. Is a good practice this. I left it as that. I should have done select this single supplier. So I'm going to remove the 3M and delete. Okay. And now when I click refresh, I'll have my one for backs. So again, I'm going to now go to generate payments. And I'm going to go pay multiple suppliers, but this time I'm going to select the backs option. Again, it's picking up the relevant current account. And again, if I want to put a message on the remittance, I can do and say, well, X must close this time. So please note we close on the 24th and return on the 4th. Click OK. And then we click again. OK again. Now this is going to bring up something different than before. Just give it a second. And what we get here is it's a payment confirmation screen. So it's the account name is Tony Test Data, which is my test data, number of payments one, value, and the bank and sort code. I can show details saying actually it's paying that one invoice. I can print that out if I want. Okay. But what I get here is something where I can save my backs file that will be uploaded to your banking software. Now I recommend giving this a good name like backs and the dates. I'll put 11/02/21. So at least then I know it's a backs file and it was created on the 11th of February. Again, you may have your own system for that. I'm then going to click save. That saves that backs file. You would then, of course, upload that to your bank, be it Lloyds, HSBC, or whatever, and then you will get your remittance that you can then send to your supplier, which will say you're going to get paid. And you can see there, please note we close. It puts that image at the bottom. So if I close that down, and if I again go into delete suggested payments, I always recommend do that at the end. Click delete, say yes. That's cleared all those down. If I now go to my supplier list and click on refresh, you'll see now I've only got one left outstanding, which is that 3M with the part payment. So if I just go into say Acme Trading, and if I double click, I'll bring me my transactional details. And you can see there, there's nothing outstanding on tick. And you can see there, a payment was made on the 28th of February because I forward dated it, obviously. So that is the basics of a payment run on the purchase ledger. Thank you for listening. And of course, if you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to contact our really helpful support department. Thanks very much and goodbye.